TDN listeners and viewers, and especially the audience of this week in interview. I want to tell you a very special good night and welcome to the program. It's always a pleasure to have you. Those of you who come back every Wednesday, I really appreciate the fact that you make this week in interview a part of your schedule. And if tonight is the first time that you're just finding us, welcome, welcome aboard. There's room for you. We are very warm and welcoming. So we hope that you have a good time and you decide to hang out with us. If not every Wednesday, whenever um, you have the time, you come on. With this weekend interview on TDN TV, TDN Radio, we have a YouTube channel. This weekend interview has its own YouTube channel. Also, we have a TDN Radio YouTube channel. Uh, uh, so Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, any one of those medium that you listening to this weekend interview on, I want to ask you to like us. We like you, so like us back, right? But on top of that, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when we have new programs launched. We're looking at TDN, and hopefully we have some exciting new programs coming up that you will enjoy, and you wouldn't want to miss those programs. So you want to turn on your notification so they can tell you, oh, this weekend interview just started, or um, Noveless with the program on a Saturday. There is Kathy Robinson and Paulina Blunt now on a Monday night, although that program is in hiatus right now. There is Dr. Simone with Push Past 10. A lot of good programming, so check us out. In that vein, I want to say thank you and good evening to the management of RVR Jams. They carried this weekend interview live on DigiPlay channel 59. Also, in the Toronto market, online radio SBE carries this week in interview live as well. So thank you to the management there, as well as you, the audience. We want to say, I hope that you're having a great week and that you are going to really enjoy being on with us tonight. Uh, this is the first program in September. It's September 3rd, 2025, and the month of September has been designated as the Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. Prostate cancer is an illness that affects a large number of our men, and uh, it seems to be a natural part of growing up where our prostate starts to grow a little bit in size, sometimes a lot in size. Not every time it increases in size, it's cancerous, but sometimes it is. The good news about prostate cancer is that if it is detected early, then the chance of beating it into remission is high. And so the test to check and to find out early, if it's done once a year, just once a year, if it's done once a year, it's a test that takes literally it takes about 10-15 seconds. Well, first of all, the doctor might draw some blood and check for some hormone levels and all, but that doesn't tell the full story. He has to do a physical exam, which has gotten a bad name. It's not something that a man cannot handle. I have had my prostate examined a number of times, and I'm still here. My the octane on my voice hasn't changed. I don't talk in a high pitch, so there's no nothing with that. It's just you go to a doctor and he does a 10-second examination, and that 10 seconds can make the difference between you dying a very painful death or living, um, eliminating one more cause of death. So my guest tonight, he was with us in 2023 on the same topic because he has been doing a lot of work in encouraging you, our men, to get yourself examined. And he is the perfect person. He's very qualified to do that because he is a survivor of prostate cancer. And when you see him, he looks healthy and vibrant and young, and that should be encouraging to us. But even more so, really, if it should encourage you to do your annual exam. And so, without taking too much more time, I want to introduce you or reintroduce you if you saw him the first time he was here, my very special guest, Mr. Patrick Henderson. Patrick, thank you so much for being on this weekend interview. It's a pleasure to have you. Oh, hold on, let me get there. There you are. Is your mic muted?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're loud and clear now. As I was saying, a very warm welcome to you. It's great having you back on this weekend interview. Welcome.
Okay. Thank you. And I'm happy. I'm always happy to spread the word because our men need to hear the word. So thanks for having me again.
Yeah, and for those that were not to for us the first time, let's besides just the label that I put on you as a survivor, this is something you should be proud of. Let's tell the audience a little bit about you, what you did as a career, and what the things that you're still involved with, and so on. Let's just get them warm to knowing who you are.
Okay. Well, as you said, I'm Patrick Henderson. I am from Granby, but I live in Marigot. And my career spans from teaching to community development to banking. And my last job was the director of the Peace Corps program in Dominica.
Um,
But in addition to that, I mean, while I was doing this, I still kept on doing my community and youth development work on sports. I've been very involved in basketball, organizing. We started the program in Granby many years ago, back in the 60s.
hmm.
And when I moved to Marigot, I also started a program there, which went very well.
You said in the '60s.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, in the 60s, when growing up in Granby as a young boy, we,
Hmm.
as a teenager, I lived close to the church. I was an acolyte,
Hmm.
and I was part of the YCW, Young Christian Workers,
Hmm.
with Willie Favre and a whole bunch of these guys in
I know Willie. I know Willie. Yeah.
there. Right.
Uh-huh.
So, being part of that group, we were involved in community activities, sports, and so on. And then somewhere down, we went to theater also. So we were doing plays.
Right.
And then later on, we decided, well, let's set up a basketball team because there's no basketball in Granby. Basketball was concentrated in Rosewood at the
Right.
academy.
Hmm.
So in the church allowed us to put a half court in the church grounds, and we built a pool. I remember the day we were building the pool, mounting the pool. There was some strike. This was the time of the unions agitating against the Liberal government. And school, I think schools were closed, so we took that opportunity to the CSA strike to mount up our pole. And so we had one pole up, and at the other end we had a netball pole, and this is how
Mm.
we started the program.
Okay.
And then Cardinals from town came up and
Hmm.
played with us just to give us a feel for the game. And we just gradually built it, formed the team,
Hmm.
participated in the league in town over the years. I left in 73, and I think in 74 they won the championship, which was nice.
Was it the Eagles? What was the Granby
No,
name?
Bata Pros.
Bata Pros. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Pros. Yeah.
That's right.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember Bata. For those young people that don't know Bata, Bata was a shoe store in Russia.
Right. Liebert was the manager.
Oh, really? Okay. 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 Yeah. And so you've been involved in community activity involving young men and men for a long time.
Oh yes. Yep. All my life.
And also I would say also the how would you say the importance of movement, sports,
Yes.
and so on.
Yeah,
And so I think it's not a surprise then that you ended up doing some community development work.
true. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's, I'm still, I enjoy it. I've always enjoyed it. And the good thing about it is to see the young men that you've worked with who are adults now and their success. That's the reward of the whole thing, to see how successful they have become.
and that's a trait that a teacher has to have, right?
Right.
If you're a teacher,
Yeah.
you get pride from seeing your students grow and
Hmm.
become, as opposed to you after, because otherwise you're going to stand there and say, "But I teach this man little boy, and look now he come up, and he's a big time farmer, he's a big time doctor,
Yeah.
or whatever it is, and I'm still here in the same position teaching." So,
Well, I'll give you SMA.
uh
The students of the class of 73, 74, so it's
mhm,
50 years ago, are having a reunion in
right.
October.
Yeah.
So they were talking about it, and
Are you
it's
planning to
something
go do that?
I was hoping to attend, but they gave me the dates late. So on the day that it is beginning, the 11th of October is the day I'm leaving.
Oh wow, oh wow.
But I'll be meeting some of them prior to that.
Prior to
And
that, yeah.
yeah, yes,
My good friend Alvin Thomas is deeply involved
yes,
in that,
yeah,
and I've
we had a
interviewed a few of them.
okay, we had a Zoom recently, and I saw him,
Right.
Joseph
Joseph
Gis,
Geese, yeah, and those guys.
right,
Yeah.
those
Hmm.
guys,
Hmm.
Linford John, and
Right.
it's nice just seeing them.
A lot of powerful and stalwart guys came out at that time at SMA.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
oh yes,
I mean, I'm
the good.
saying that grudgingly because I'm a grammar school guy, so it's always tough to give any kind of kudos to us.
You
but,
brothers, man, you
but
brothers.
I'm big man enough to acknowledge it. One of the biggest bands is Gramax, which is a
Right,
blend of grammar
exactly.
school and academy guys.
That's
Talking
right.
about that, I found a clipping of Gramax playing at the Super Bowl
Yes, somebody sent it to
halftime.
me. Yes, I remember. I remember when that news came out.
Did not know that those guys had soared that high, huh?
Yep,
Yeah.
with Cool on the Gang, Jeff played with Cool on the Gang
Wow.
one time.
I'm sure he would fit right in that type of personality. I'm sure.
Hmm.
So, you know, we haven't talked and getting you familiar with the audience, but we're here to talk about something that is serious, Patrick. You not
Okay,
hearing me?
I'm hearing.
Okay.
My headphone had gone off. Yes,
That shift.
go ahead.
Okay. We're here to talk about something that is serious. I don't know if you heard
Yes,
the announcement by the minister when he officially announced the month of September as the Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. Did he say that in 2024, is it 29 people? Some
I did not. I don't think I heard it, but I did not really tune into it. But I
registered the
know that.
number. I
Yeah,
think if not 29, it's 26, but
yeah,
it was definitely in the high 20s.
yes. It's a concern.
Men, he didn't say died, but they diagnosed with prostate cancer.
Mhm. And we have been. I'm a member of the Cancer Society,
Hmm.
and we also have a men's support group headed by Davis Later
Hmm.
and Father Reggie and this guys are involved in it. So, and I've always asked the Cancer Society for us to start gathering data on
Right.
cancers in Dominica in general, and
Yeah.
for us more specifically prostate cancer. But that has not materialized. I mean, I guess the government has the information, but we don't have it, and we needed to kind of begin to understand geographically, are there concentrated areas of concentration that we can
Exactly.
begin to target in
Exactly.
terms of education and so on.
Yeah. And the
So I'm
professions and the habits.
right,
Yeah.
right. So I'm hoping that they will listen to us and collaborate with us on that effort going forward.
You know what frightened me about that statistics because he wasn't talking about cancer in general. He was talking
Prostate.
only prostate cancer.
Hmm.
And if you imagine that you not imagine knowing that there are 52 weeks in a year, if you have 26 cases in a year, that's every 2 weeks somebody get diagnosed
Yeah,
with prostate cancer. Dominica is very small. I mean, those of
yeah,
you in the audience are not Dominicans or not Caribbean people might not understand the significance of this. But in any one of those islands, Grenada, St. Lucia, Dominica, St. Vincent, any one of those islands where we are diagnosing every 2 weeks a person is diagnosed with prostate cancer. That's high.
Yeah, it is.
And so and if you have to assume that at least equal number of women are getting diagnosed with breast cancer, because usually statistics for breast cancer is usually a little higher than for prostate.
Yeah.
You can imagine that's once a week. Cancer is being diagnosed. Somebody is finding out that they have cancer in Dominica every week. If at this rate we're going to run out of people.
Well, when I came in May, 2 weeks after I came in, I found out a friend of mine died, and it was prostate cancer. And then just yesterday, another friend of mine's sister died of breast cancer, and she wasn't that old. She's not as old as me. She must have been in her either 50s or 60s. So it's a serious matter, and I don't think we are focusing enough on it. Not just in terms of the fact that people are getting cancer, but in terms of our diet. What are the causes of this increase in cancer? We really need to focus on that.
The you know I don't know if people are taking it seriously like me and you,
Mm.
but if I had something to do about it, if I had control of the church or saying how money was spent in Dominica, that kind of statistics would frighten the living daylights out of me to the extent where before I found $5 million or whatever it is to organize the World Queer Music Festival, I'll be finding $1 million or two to call the Cancer Society together, to call the people, doctors and nutritionists and so on, and launch a campaign against cancer.
Maybe it's not a priority. I don't know. Again, the thing about cancer is if it does not affect you directly or your family, it becomes a secondary or tertiary issue in terms of priority.
Hmm.
I go back to myself when I was young. When you're young, you don't even think of cancer. I only began focusing on cancer when my brother Lambert, Michael's father,
Mhm.
developed colon cancer. Prior
Wow.
to that, I never you are young and you're enjoying life, and cancer is the last thing on your mind.
Right.
So that awakening, that advocacy, that sensitization needs to increase. And not only that, I mean, we also need to look at our diet and the things we eat. I mean, the foods we
Yeah.
import,
Hmm.
all the processed foods, it's killing us.
Because I mean, Dominica is known as a nature island.
So,
Therefore, you assume that the water is of good quality and the air is of decent quality. And those are two of the main factors of of health. Those are two of the main factors that determine health in a community. Clean water, because there's so many waterborne diseases that
yes.
clean water is just a blessing. You've more than 70% win the battle. Clean air, where we don't live in a desert where we have a lot of dust. We don't live near industrial activity where there's a lot of pollution in the air and so on. So Dominica, I think we can assume that we have clean air and clean water. So I'm coming back to what you said. If we can check off the box on water and we check off the box on food on air, water and
Uh,
air, then we have to
right.
turn to the next what we put in our mouth,
Yep.
our diet, our food.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. And also how much activity that we have. We have to
Yep.
focus on our healthcare system.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like so
We
mhm,
as you talk about activity, obesity is becoming a serious problem too. When I look around the country and I look at our young people, I get scared for them because they're obese and they it doesn't seem to matter to them, but it will matter when they get older
right.
and these diseases start hitting them. But right now, they don't think about
So and so it seems as though the issues that we had, the approach we have to take
it.
seems like it's mostly low hanging fruit, some education.
Yeah, yeah. There needs to be a national effort. It cannot be a piecemeal kind of thing where we do
Mm,
this. I mean, we are doing what we can, but there needs to be a national effort and national program focus on health, healthy lifestyles.
yeah.
This month is Caribbean Wellness Month. All right, so they're
Hmm.
focusing on health. I was in on Monday. The Casabruce Health District
Uh-huh.
had launched its Caribbean Wellness Month activities in
Wow.
Alinago territory. I was with them. So we went from Seniku to the Salibia Health Center and stopped at the various hamlets, and they were broadcasting messages about your health
Hmm.
and cancer and all these things, which I thought was very good. They did an excellent job. But we need more of this.
And
We really
more
need it.
continuity, right?
Yes, yes. It
Consistency.
cannot be just a month and that's it.
Because we were healthy. Once upon a time, we used to boast of the number of centenarians we have,
Yep.
and
I wonder where it is now.
we don't know what it is. We don't know where that statistic is. And when we started the program, you spoke about data. It is so important to capture the data because if we
Yeah.
don't have the data, maybe that's why it's not taken that seriously, right?
Yeah.
Because we saw the seaweed that is coming on the beaches, we
Oh
see
boy.
that get a lot of attention because it's a problem, right? And people were lamenting that the fish were getting affected, it was killing fish, it was people couldn't use the beach because there was that awareness. Everywhere you turn, somebody took a photo of it, you know.
It's still
But
there.
right, it's still there, yeah. But we don't seem to have a same focus on the cancer.
Yeah, that is true.
And there seems to be a secret, Patrick. I don't know that people don't really know for sure that that person died of cancer and this person died
Yes.
of cancer and so on.
Yeah.
So, as somebody
I,
who's working in community development and somebody who's a member of the Cancer Society, what are the steps would you recommend to? Let's talk to the men because
Mhm.
it's Prostate Awareness Month, it's Men's Health. But so let's talk to the men first of all. What kind of steps, what kind of self-care and maintenance kind of habits or programs should we be encouraging our men to develop?
Well, we've got to. Again, I said it has to be a national effort. It has to be something that is planned properly.
Hmm.
Um, we need to get out there where the men are, not just a radio program here and a pamphlet here and there. You got to reach out to the men where they are
Right,
and sit and have a conversation with them, casual conversation, which gradually gets into their health and well-being.
right.
That way you can get it. In fact, that's what we try to do. We try to Last year we went to do the domino shops
Hmm.
and sit with the guys and talk to them about their health, about prostate cancer specifically. And you'd be amazed that they do listen, they ask questions, but it's the setting. The setting has to be right. It has to be a setting where they're comfortable, that they have men who they can relate to, and that they feel free to express how they feel and ask questions. And they ask a lot of very good questions.
Right.
So much so that last month, 50 men was Dr. Nasiri was offering free DREs, and he
Hmm.
had 50 men in September.
Wow.
So if we get the correct message in the right at the right time and place, then I think our men can begin to at least begin to get checked, get themselves checked. But it's a long process, and I don't think also that we should just focus on men in those areas. We need to focus on the youth, the children in school.
Hmm. Hmm.
We got to start there because the students can be good advocates, so children can be good advocates to put pressure on the adults to make the lifestyle changes that we need them to make. So that's one area I think that we have not really focused on is educating the children so that they can put the pressure on the adults to bring about the change. Because you listen to your child when it talks to
Yeah.
you.
Because parents listen to their children. The
Yeah,
child comes home and say, "Hey, today they taught us about volcanoes, and they they go and explain to you how a volcano works, and so you listen to them, and you, oh, I didn't know that, and you learn it." I think
yes,
similarly, if a child comes home and say, "Hey, mommy, daddy, we talk about prostate cancer, and they say that daddy can go get a check every week, every year,
right,
but daddy, you went already, you know."
yes, yes,
So
definitely.
you're making a great point to that. It's to make it a family,
Yes,
make it a family issue, a family problem, a family plan to hold each other accountable. Make sure that whatever that the women are doing their breast checks and their cervical checks, and the men are doing their colon and their prostate. Everybody doing colon and prostate.
yeah,
I heard, as you mentioned about the doc, I heard Dr. Benjamin
mhm.
is offering a free prostate exam on a
Okay, during
Wednesday for the month of
for
September.
September.
Every
Okay,
Wednesday, he said from 10, I think, until 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. at his
okay,
clinic. He
yeah,
will do a free
that's
prostate
good.
exam. Yeah. So the
Well,
men are
I
there.
yeah, I spoke to Dr. Nasiru. He's going to do it again this year, September. He's going to take the men free. Dr. Johnson is also going to come up on one of those days and do free DG and DRE
Hmm.
exam for men. In fact,
Right.
last year when he did it in one day, he had 15 men. Sure.
That's good.
So
That's good.
yeah, it's and I must also say, while we lament the fact that there is not enough sensitization, over the years, I have seen more and more men coming out and getting checked. It's so there's some impact. It's not where we want it to be, but it's not like there is not any impact. There is some
There's
impact.
some movement for sure,
Yes, yes,
and I mean,
definitely.
we expect that because this thing is affecting a person every week, every other week.
Mhm.
Somebody has to pay attention because Dominica is not that large. Sooner or later,
That's right.
every single household will have been affected by it.
Yeah.
So you are a survivor of prostate cancer.
Yes.
If, to the extent that you're comfortable talking about your own personal experience,
Mhm.
walk us through how you came to find out that you had prostate cancer, and and your thought process, your mentality, the state of
Okay.
mind when you found that out.
Okay. As I mentioned before, I never really thought of cancer until my brother Lambert ended up having colon cancer.
Mm,
And Dr. Paul was my doctor, and I mean, I've been doing my regular annual checkups with him for many, many years. So in I was 43 in 1996. There was when they diagnosed Lambert with colon cancer, and I remember going to see Dr. Paul because he's the one who did the surgery to open him up to see what was wrong. And Dr. Paul and I went to SMA together. We're good buddies. So I told him, the guy you were pretty done on this weekend there, that's my brother. And he just froze.
hmm.
And he told me, come, and he explained to me, drew a diagram and explained to me what had happened to the colon cancer and so on. And then we began discussing, well, family. Said, is there a history of cancer in your family? And it was only then I really began reflecting. I said, but there was. I had a sister who had breast cancer. She had the breast removed. I had an aunt who also had breast cancer, and it killed her. And then I had I found out I had two brothers later on who died from prostate cancer, and I had three others who had prostate cancer and had the prostate removed.
Oh wow.
So I say, whoa, this is. in the family. So he told me, now we got to start doing the DREs and the
Hmm.
PSAs. So we were doing this on a regular basis. And then in maybe it was late, what year was it? I can't remember. Some years later, when he felt my prostate, he told me, I think I can feel something grainy on the prostate. So we need to do a, a biopsy. And the prostate PSA, and the PSA at this time was 4.5. So when it hits that 4 mark, it means something is happening and you need to take stock. So we, I was supposed to go get this biopsy done at Medicus, but Medicus was closed at the time. So I ended up, I was going to St. Lucia, so I had it done in St. Lucia. And then, given the fact, and I was waiting for the results, and given the fact that I saw that there was a history of prostate cancer in my family,
Right, right, right.
I kind of anticipated that, you know what, I probably have it.
Hmm.
So mentally, I was preparing myself for that result. And this is exactly what happened. The results came back that 8 of the 12 samples, I think it was cancerous.
Wow.
But even if I was preparing myself for it mentally, it still hits you
Hmm. Hmm.
when you get the news.
Right,
And then you have to make a decision. What are you going to do? So they give you various options. They gave me various options. And I discussed it with my family. And given the fact that 3 of my brothers had it and 2 of them died of it, I said, it means that the decision I make has to be one that's going to prolong my life for as long as possible.
right,
So I asked the doctor, okay, so if I were to remove part of it, which is one of the options where it's cancerous, what happens? And at that time I was 59 years old.
mm,
I said, what happens later on? Can it come back? He said, yes. If it come back, then what do you do? Well, after a certain age, they no longer do surgery. They just
mm,
keep treating it until you pass on.
right,
So, given that option and given the history in my family, I decided the best thing to me was to just do a radical and remove the prostate,
right,
which is what my 3 other brothers had done. And 2 of them are still alive. The other one lived to be in his 90s and he died not of prostate cancer, but of old age.
right, right,
So, that was how I made that decision. And I did this surgery in St. Lucia because had begun a relationship with my urologist there after he did the
biopsy.
biopsy for me. And it went well. Um, I stayed in the hospital for 2 days and then left. He gave me a catheter, went to the guest house where my wife and I were staying. I went around with my catheter with my friends in St. Lucia, climbing around.
Mm,
At the end of the week, I came back to him, he removed the stitches, and I was on the plane and I came back home. He gave me some medication to take just to make sure that there's no pain and so on. And there was no pain really for me. And I'm not saying that my experience is like everybody's
right.
experience, but
Mm,
that was my own personal experience. And then I began looking at reading up more about cancer and prostate cancer and foods and making a determination as to what changes I need to make in my own life given the situation. True, the prostate was removed, but it does not mean that they told me that there was what you call a capsular invasion, so which meant that some of the cancer might have got outside of the prostate.
mm,
So I had to be mindful of that. And so I've kept doing PSAs every year. Up till now, I still do it just to see, to monitor whether or not this thing is changing. Recently, there have been some minor changes, nothing significant. And my doctor told me, my urologist told me, we just keep monitoring it doing PSAs. As I said, I did change my diet. I cut out like sugars. I reduce processed foods. I don't do any dairy. I
hmm.
stay away from dairy. And I try to focus a lot on fruits and vegetables.
Fruits and vegetables. Right,
Yeah.
right,
And exercise and those kind of things and no
right.
stress. So
Mm.
I think
So,
it has helped. So,
so I'm going to take a quick break right here. When
right.
we come back after the break, I'm going to analyze because there are several gems that you mentioned that we can spend a little more time on each of them. So, folks, we're
Sure.
going to take a quick break. My guest tonight is Mr. Patrick Henderson. He's a prostate cancer survivor, and the month of September is usually the month where we do prostate cancer awareness. And so he's with my guest tonight because we're happy that he's here with us. He survived cancer, and he has his experience. In addition to that, he is he's a member of the Dominica Cancer Society, and he does community development. So he has a lot of good information that he can share with us. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Presented by
People say I've got a great smile. Well, I have to say, this is all thanks to the professional team at Beacon Dental Group right here in Dorchester, Massachusetts. I've got world-class dental care. Beacon Dental Group has expert and caring staff dedicated to providing the most advanced and satisfactory treatment in all aspects of oral health. Their services are designed to meet your needs and give you a perfect smile, too. General checkups, cosmetic surgery, Gemini laser service, and advanced procedures, all in a state-of-the-art facility. Call or visit Beacon Dental Group today, 1026 Blue Hill Avenue, Dorchester, Massachusetts, or call 617-282-2146 for a smile that lights the world.
Looking to promote your business, engage current customers, and reach new people? Well, look no further. From the basic presentation to a fully fledged advertisement, use your video ads to attract customers. At Man's Audiovisual Productions, we do just that. We produce videos for business and event promotions, product demo videos, animated explainer videos, fundraiser ads, and much, much more. Engage your clients and sell online. We customize the video to match your brand design. Guaranteed to play flawless on all devices, including smart TVs. Contact us at telephone number 203-690-4342 or 767-245-6238. Visit our website, mansaudiovisual.com, or email us at derekvideo@gmail.com.
Writers, we need you. We've got exciting news. Get ready to immerse yourself in the exciting world of words at the Write to Kubuli Virtual Literary Festival. From September 15th to 20th, 2025, we're showcasing the incredible talents of writers of Dominican descent. Join us for inspiring panels, thought-provoking workshops, captivating readings, all from the comfort of your own home. You can engage with your favorite authors, participate in workshops, and dive into discussions that spark your intellect and imagination. You don't want to miss out on this vibrant celebration of culture and creativity. Make sure to save the date, September 15th to 20th. Follow us on social media for updates. Let's hashtag Write to Kubuli together. We're trending. Register now.
So staying with us through the break. My guest tonight on this week in interview is Mr. Patrick Henderson. He is originally from Grand Bay. He resides in Marigot, Dominica. Has worked as a teacher, a banker, community development. He is actively involved in the Dominica Cancer Association. And we have him on here because in the month of September, we try to heighten. It should be a constant and continuous program throughout the year. However, in the month of September, we are trying to highlight and to boost the awareness of our folks about prostate cancer. And before we took the break, Patrick he went through with us um, how he came to be diagnosed, his reaction, and how he continues right now to actively monitor his body and to ensure that um, he remains in remission. So Patrick, Let's deal with a few items that you went through. The first one and the most important one I want to deal with is that you said you and your doctor had a good relationship. You're very communicative. You guys went to SMA together. That lends itself to good rapport, which is extremely important for you and your healthcare provider to have that kind of rapport. So even if you didn't go to school together, find something else. If you like cricket and he likes cricket, if you go to church and he goes to church, if he eats mangoes and you eat mango, whatever it is, try to find something. Because most people make the mistake and they go to the doctor and it's almost like they go to the priest at confession and they're uptight and they're stressed and they're not even relaxed enough. After they come from the doctor office, they say, I intended to ask the doctor this and I intended to ask the doctor that. And but if you develop that relationship with your doctor where you guys have this really tight bond, it doesn't have to be a bond where you're body, but at least you feel comfortable that to somebody that you see in church or you see on the street you can wave at and have a slight conversation. Then it makes it so much easier to talk about sensitive and more difficult topics. So that having that relationship and then doing the visit regularly, Patrick, I think is something that made a great difference in your experience. Am I right?
Yes, definitely. Doing the regular visits is critical.
Right.
Don't skip. In fact, there's a friend of mine who told me he skipped 2 years. I told him you better go get checked on regularly, and he's 71.
Yeah.
He can't afford that.
You cannot do that. I remember I always used to do programs like that, and one time I had a program like this, just telling folks, go. I tried to do it at the beginning of the year. This year, early, make an appointment to go see a doctor, and I got a about 3 months after that program, I got a message from somebody that said that, my friend so and so told me that he was listening to your program and you were encouraging unemployed men to go to the doctor. And when I went to the doctor, they sent me directly to the hospital to check in to have surgery. So
Wow.
so that in itself gave me a good
Yes.
a good encouragement that at least one person we made a
Yes.
difference, right?
Oh, yes.
Uh,
Definitely.
so a good relationship with your doctor. Don't be shy. Don't be afraid. Don't be uptight. Get to a point where a doctor is somebody you can talk to, uh, uh, and do your exam regularly. Now, a lot of men, there's a lot of stigma around men going to get their prostate examined because sometimes it involves a physical exam where the doctor has to examine you through your anus, through your rectum, and he has to his finger up in there and to feel the prostate and circle his finger around it and feel it that it's smooth, gauge the size, gauge the shape. Especially if he is your regular doctor, he can feel there's a difference from the last time he did it. Because that's what you said happened. Dr. Paul told you
Um,
that he felt it a little grainy, right?
hmm Yeah.
And so just that. I mean, just enduring that little bit of discomfort made such a difference,
Yeah.
as opposed to waiting until you see blood in your urine, or
hmm
you're urinating painful, or if you sit down for 10 minutes, you start feeling fatigue and pain, like you cannot sit down for long. All of those symptoms that
Yeah.
if you feel them, go right away, but it's a little late, you know?
But also, um, yeah, I mean, they have met guys who say, "Well, I do my PSA every year, but they don't do the DRE."
Right.
Now, the thing about doing a PSA is that PSA tells you something is happening. Doesn't tell you what it is.
Mhm.
Is it digital rectal exam that can really give you a more accurate analysis of what's going on? Sometimes some people do PSAs, and the PSA is okay. I had a friend of mine, his PSA was okay, and then and he himself had prostate cancer, but the
Wow.
PSA was okay.
Was okay.
So you can't just rely on the PSA. the DRE, I think it gives you
It's better.
a better sense of what's
Hmm.
going on. And
Hmm.
you talk about the fact that it's a little uncomfortable. It's a few seconds. I remember I always give the story of this guy who I met at the Princess Margaret Hospital at the time. We were doing DREs up there with Ross University. This guy works on the port, and he comes up to me and he says, is my name on the list?" And I found this name. And he gives me his story now. He said his girlfriend told him to take some message to somebody on the ward for him, for her. So he took the message and went to the ward. When he got there, his girlfriend called him and told him, "Oh, by the way, I made an appointment for you to get your DRE checked." So he's a little concerned. So we spoke and so on until I kind of calmed him down. So when he came out of it, I asked him, "How was it?" He said, "Man, it's nothing. I really thought it was worse than that." I said,
Right.
"Well, you need to go back and talk to your friends on the port and let them know how simple it is." But here he was coming, and it was his girlfriend who got him to get it done.
Tricked him to come.
He
That's
tricked
how
him to
bad.
come.
That's how stubborn and bad women
Yeah,
are. She had to
yes,
trick him to go.
yes, yeah.
Mm.
But I'm happy that he did do it, and then he could go spread the word from for the others so that they could get this check.
Right. It's just like in your colonoscopy. Yes, the colon cancer seem to be another one of the prevalent ones, and we've
Hmm.
done that many times on the program.
Yeah.
If you do a colonoscopy and they find no polyps,
Hmm.
you can do another one in 5 years.
All
If
right.
they find polyps, the doctor will tell you maybe three or so, because it takes a polyp. Um, this doctor told me it takes a polyp 7 years to develop into a tumor, into a
Hmm.
cancerous tumor. So if you do that 5 year window, it's very likely that you will catch the polyps even before they can turn into colon cancer. Or if it does, you catch it so early. Because
Yeah.
just like prostate cancer,
Right.
your chances of a positive outcome is very high with early detection, right? It's
Right.
almost 100%,
Exactly.
no?
Exactly. Exactly. And in fact, I remember Dr. Paul's favorite phrase. He said, "Prostate cancer is the friendliest cancer you could ever have because if you detect it early and you treat it early, you're gonna be fine.
Right.
It's when you wait too long, then it gets complicated."
Then you let it grow and it becomes a problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
for many people too, the prostate cancer is a slow growing cancer for most people. Not all, for
mm,
most. And I'll use me for again as an example. When I did my in 2009, when I did the PSA, it was 4.5. By September of that same year, I decided to do another one before I go to St. Lucia. It had gone up to 10
wow.
in that short space of time.
Wow.
So it can accelerate sometimes. That's why you need to constantly monitor it.
Monitor it, yeah. And so that's one big message we want to leave with people to check your prostate regularly. Have a doctor
Yes.
check it for you. All right. And then as somebody who has educated yourself on it, you spoke about diet
Yes.
and exercise. So those two things, how important is that in your plan to manage prostate cancer?
Very important. We got to watch what we eat. And I
Right.
always think of Dominica as a land blessed with all kinds of fruits and vegetables, and yet still we don't make use of it. And I always think of Bob Marley's song that says, "In the abundance of water, the fool is thirsty," because we have everything around us to live a healthy life, but we prefer to go and buy the processed foods, the imported stuff, and feast on that.
Right.
So that's one thing: is watch what we eat. Um, as I said, dairy. Dairy is one of the things I just got rid of because I understood that dairy can accelerate the growth of the cancer cells.
Right. So
Just
no
as
milk, no
sugar,
cheese, no milk, no
no,
cheese.
no. And my wife is allergic to dairy, so I
That
don't eat.
makes it
I am
easier.
not.
Right.
I mean, I have had. If somebody gives me a sandwich with some cheese on it, I'll eat it. But it's not a regular part of my diet. I don't buy cheese. I don't buy milk. Any of these things at my.
Right. Okay.
Sugar, I avoid sugar. I use honey instead of sugar when
Hmm.
I need to use it. Carbonated drinks, I just moved away from that. The only carbonated drink I may have is a ginger ale once
Hmm.
in a while, but I don't do that.
So when
Exercise,
you say carbonated drinks, just to be clear, you're talking about soft drinks,
soft drinks, yes, yes,
right? Stay away from because it has this sugar
yeah.
in very high quantities
hmm
and basically.
Diabetes is prevalent down here.
Hmm.
Just yesterday, I was in the Kalinego territory, and this guy came to the shop, and he's talking about his wife is diabetic, but he's buying he's buying a buster to
Wow,
take to her. I'm saying, oh Lord, a lot of it. We need a lot of education on these things
education,
anyway.
right?
So exercise is another thing that's important. You've got to stay active. So I play basketball. I have not played in a while, but I love playing my
You
basketball.
still
I love
play,
walking.
okay? Hmm.
Yes, I love walking also. So staying active is important. Reducing your stress level.
Hmm.
We talk about all these other things, but stress can aggravate the situation. It can cause cancer cells to grow. So we've got to make sure we reduce our stress level. I do that myself.
So
Uh,
people have to find things to occupy them so they're not thinking about their problem. The problem doesn't go away. You give yourself the a time to think about whatever it is and how you can fix
mhm,
it, what you can do about it, and
that's right.
then you go on to
Yeah,
doing something you enjoy in
right.
spite of whatever is going on. Right.
Exactly. And some things are not in your control, and those if it's not in your control, you can't do anything. Why stress out yourself
Why
if it's
stress on it, right?
doing you any
Mm.
good? Yeah. Getting sufficient rest is important also. You need to
Sleep.
get sufficient. Yes. And I have reduced my alcohol consumption. I don't drink much alcohol.
Right.
Again,
Right.
I'll drink some wine and maybe a little whiskey now and then, but
Mm.
I mean, I think it also come natural. I think as I grow older, I'm losing my taste for alcoholic drinks.
Right. Yeah, and from all reports, I was listening to a medical program that says that there's no safe amount of alcohol.
No. No.
However, if you go out with friends and you have a beer or you have a wine, as long as you're not doing it every weekend, you're not doing it 5 days a week.
You see,
If,
everything in
if
moderation.
yeah, if 3, 4 times a year, 2, 3 times a year, maybe you go out with a friend, you have a drink. Not because tonight is my drinking night. I go to make up for all the lost time. No, you have a glass of wine with dinner or beer or something in
Mhm.
moderation. So everything in moderation.
Yes.
But in terms of cancer, especially as you get older, more than moderation, make an effort to reduce to a minimum
Yeah.
on the
And
alcohol and the
sometimes
sugar.
your body will tell you, if you listen to your body talk, it will tell you cut this thing out or reduce it because
Right.
you can feel it in it. But
Yeah.
sometimes we fight it. We fight
Yeah.
it.
Because sometimes you have a drink and then, especially if you're home, and all of a sudden you wake up and you're like, how I fall asleep and sleep for 2 hours, because you just had one simple drink. Those are signals that your body is telling you, hey, you need to adjust, and this is the impact it's having on you. So, so we talk about reducing sugar. We talk about refined food like like flour, all those things, pasta. Those things are refined foods.
Right.
Try to minimize them. Eat more vegetables, I guess, if
And
in
fruits.
their form, and fruits. Eat the orange instead of making orange juice, right?
What's that?
eat eat an orange instead of making orange juice.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, definitely. In fact,
right.
I prefer my fruits. People make juices with fruits. I prefer my fruits just eating them just as they are rather than make a juice with them.
Yeah,
Just feels different to me.
and your body absorbs it slower than if you
Yeah.
drink the juice. Okay,
Yes. Yes.
so so regular exam, if
Mhm.
you're a doctor, watch your diet. Just nobody saying that you have to go crazy, but reduce eliminate the sugar if you can, reduce dairy, get enough sleep, and watch if something is making you vexed or angry or frustrated or worried. Pay attention to that. What else you have on your list?
These are the main things that
These
I,
are the
I,
main
I
things.
practice on a
Right.
regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
It's and again it's a matter of change is difficult. and change don't come overnight. So it's something you have to work at. It's something you have to work at for the rest of your life,
Right.
making these lifestyle changes for your own benefit in the long run.
Right. Right. Uh, uh, and a lot of times, though, people let things go because of shame.
Mhm.
There is this privacy that people have around their health, and everybody's entitled to be private around your health. But it should not be so private that you miss the opportunity for somebody to help you or educate you.
Right.
Because if somebody doesn't know you're diabetic,
Yeah.
they may have a nice tip for you or story or nice recipe.
Exactly.
You
Yep.
never get it because that person doesn't know you're diabetic, and you try to make it um, so secretive, right?
Yeah.
So everybody has to determine the measure of comfort they have in sharing. But we would like people to come out a little bit for two reasons. One is that you can benefit from that relationship that you develop by opening up to people, but also you might be blessing that other person.
Yeah. Definitely.
You might be really blessing that other person. So we're coming up to the hour. I think we've shared a lot because I like to keep the program practical.
Yeah.
I like to keep the program where somebody listening to us can go and make an appointment with a doctor tomorrow. Write it down on a paper tonight and call your doctor, make an appointment tomorrow. You can go in your pantry and see you have sugar in there and say, you know what, I need to make an effort to cut down on my sugar. You can look and say, okay, instead of scrolling my phone, maybe I'll go to bed for 10 o'clock instead of midnight. So I like the way our conversation has gone, where because
Yeah.
it brought it down to a level where people don't feel overwhelmed. Man, prostate cancer is such a thing.
Yeah.
You papa J and you don't and you feel helpless, you feel overwhelmed, and then you take no action. I think we've brought it down to where people know exactly the steps that they can take. So Patrick, what else do can we? I don't know, is there anything else you wanted to mention that
Yeah.
we have not spoken about? Yeah.
A couple of things I want to mention. One is, again, this is September Prostate Cancer Month.
Mm,
We, the Cancer Society, gets the labs to give a reduced price on their blood tests for PSAs.
mm.
So people need to know that those who want to do the PSAs,
Take
as I
advantage
said,
and go do it in
r-
September.
right. So you have free DREs, you have reduced PSA costs. Um, we also, I don't know if you're aware that we have that the Cancer Society is also having a fundraiser. I'm not too sure if you're aware of that.
No, tell us about it.
Okay. The Tyson family, Tyson Johnson,
Mm-hmm.
this, well, his family kind of teamed up with um, the men's support group
Mm-hmm.
to have a concert for the Cancer Society to raise some funds. And that concert will take place on September 27th at 7 p.m. at Alliance Francaise under the patronage of His Excellency the President of Dominica. And it will feature Tyson Johnson and his family, Michelle Henderson, Jenna Jackson, Niall Grove, the Steel Pan group that Jacqueline Andre, who is now the president of the Cancer Society, has, and
Mm-hmm.
then Roy Daniel and Vernel Dumas. These are the performers for the night. And it's going to be, we're asking people to come out and support. I think the tickets are $50. You can get it at the Cancer Society office and from members of the Cancer Society. So, and these monies, as you say, people need funds to do tests. Many times people got to go to Guyana for treatment or any other place, and they come to the Cancer Society for help. And these funds allow us to assist people who need that kind of assistance. So we're asking for people to support us in that effort.
Send me the flyers. We'll push it until the end.
Yes, I will send it to you.
Mhm. So what date is it?
It's the 27th of September
21st of September at
at
Alliance
7
Française.
p.m. at Alliance Process.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And it sounds like you have a nice lineup. I think earlier I misspoke. I said Dr. Benjamin. I meant Dr. Johnson, right?
Dr.
With
Johnson.
the
Ah,
free
okay.
with the free
Yeah,
um exam
yeah,
on a Wednesday.
yes,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, yeah. And he's part of our men's group also.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, yes.
So, all right. I want to thank you. As usual,
My pleasure.
you respond to the call. I asked if you will come on, and you said yes immediately, and I'm super appreciative of that. uh,
Yeah,
because I think we have easy conversation for one, but I think we're also able to present the information where the audience can really take it and digest it. And even though we're talking about prostate cancer, almost everything we talk about would apply to colon cancer. It will apply to breast cancer. It will
yeah,
apply to cervical cancer, any kind of cancer whatsoever. Make
yeah,
sure you do your regular checkups. Make sure you look at your eating habits and try to work into your daily routine a little walk. If you live in Goodwill, don't always take the bus to Roseau. Walk a little bit,
yes.
and so on. So I want to give you a chance to give some final remarks, so we can close it up.
Well, I once again want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to come out here and advocate on behalf of the Cancer Society and to encourage our men folk to listen and go get checked. Um, our theme for this year's Prostate Cancer Month is Your Prostate Health Matters. And we need to take that seriously because our men, especially our men, we do not take our health seriously. And we do not take our prostate health seriously at all. So while I think that more men are coming out, I think we really need that extra effort on the part of all of us to go out there and encourage the men to go get checked. Early detection is key. If we wait for too long, we might be increasing our chances of getting a complicated situation. And also understand too that again, we talk about prostate cancer, but most men do not get prostate cancer. Usually it's an enlarged prostate. So take that into consideration. Just because you're going to get checked doesn't mean that you're going to get prostate cancer. And
Right.
thanks again for having us.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. And again, it comes to having men have that comfort zone, that area where you say, okay, let me go and check my prostate, man. We want you to, because imagine what happens if you are diagnosed with prostate cancer. Now you're getting checked every day in a hospital bed or every week, as opposed to doing it once a year, twice a year, depending on your outcome, on your results, and your risk factor, and really take it in front, because it is one of those cancers that's not a death
Yeah,
in the death sentence, because it,
sentence.
it is
That's
so
right.
easily treated, so easily
Hmm.
treated. If it's caught early, the earlier the better. And so I want to acknowledge the folks who made some comments. TD Joseph, listening from Dominica, Soph Drago, Catherine Dorset, Rowena. Thank you, and all the other people who did not make comment. I'm looking at the chat somewhere. I can only recognize those who said something, so their name pops up. But all of you who are listening, thank you for staying with us. Even if you are not a man, you have men in your life. Encourage them to get their prostate checked. And if you are a caregiver, take into account what Patrick said about stress, because giving care to someone with a serious illness is stressful. So
Right.
pay attention to that, and and understand that that also puts you a little bit at risk. So make sure you make time and you take time for yourself. But if it's absolutely one thing I want you to take away from tonight, is if you have not done an exam in recent times, please go and get tested. Get your prostate examined. If you're a woman, get your breast examined, get your cervix examined, and for both men and women, get a colonoscopy. All of those items give a really, really good chance of survival the earlier we catch it. And so you owe it to yourself. Yes, Patrick.
I was good. I just forgot to mention that we also, the Cancer Society has its Walk for Cancer Care
Mm.
on October 4th.
Okay.
It will take place in Roseau, and there's one in Portsmouth also.
Okay.
So it's also a fundraiser. So I'll be going to the one in Portsmouth because they asked me to come and give a testimonial because they cannot find somebody in Portsmouth to do
Portsmouth is
it.
a hospital.
So
All right.
yeah, so
So the
it's going
4th
to
of
be,
October is
yes,
the
Walk for Cancer Care.
Walk for Cancer Care. And on the 27th of September, there is a dinner fundraiser at Alliance Française. Get your ticket from the Cancer Society or any of its members. And for yourself,
It's a
go and
concert,
do
not a
an
dinner.
exam. It's a
It's a
concert.
concert, not
I'm
a
sorry, it's
dinner.
a concert. Oh, it's a
It's a
performance, a
concert.
concert. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So it's a concert on the 27th of September at
Yeah.
Alias Moses. You have performances like Pan in Harmony, Michael Henderson, Tyson
Tyson Johnson.
Johnson, and so on. All right. So,
Jonathan.
folks, help me to say thank you to Mr. Patrick Henderson for coming on tonight. Patrick, it's always a pleasure to speak with you. All the best. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Same
Stay
to you,
cool.
man. And
Okay.
thanks. Continue the good work that you're doing.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Well, folks, I'm going to say good night. I really hope and encourage you to do what you need to do to take care of your health. And there's the right to Kubuli writing festival coming up, literary coming up from the 15th to the 20th. Make sure you note it. We had over 70 writers sign up to participate, and we have all kinds of writings, novels, nonfiction, short stories, poems. It's going to be really, really great from the 15th to the 20th. Every day, we have activities where it starts with interviews with various authors. We have workshops on writing a book, publishing your book, marketing your book, and so on. And we have on the Saturday, the last day, we have live from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. We just did like a big old jam where we have people reading from their book, we have people reading from other people's book, we have poetry, we have all kind of literary um, acts going on that Saturday. But it starts on the 15th and it ends on the 20th. You don't want to miss it. So, folks, good night. I will see you again next week. Because next week on the 10th, we're going to give the space to the Right to Kubuli um, committee to give you more information about the program, and then we will be TDN and we'll be carrying live all of those activities for the Right to Kubuli uh, literary festival, as well as they have a YouTube page. You write to Kubuli Literary Festival has a Facebook page and a YouTube channel. So check them out. Give them your good support. We have so much talent, literary talent coming out of Dominica. So good night, folks. See you next week.